This is the voice of freedom. We are not one voice. We are many. We are your voice. But we can only be effective if you use your voice. Your voice. This is the voice of freedom. We will not hide from the truth. We will ask the hard questions until we are sure we have the truth. Welcome to the voice of freedom, where your voice will never be silenced.
Well, how are you, folks? Hope you've had a good Friday so far. Sorry for nothing yesterday. Got a bit carried away. For those of you who aren't aware, yesterday was my birthday. Thank you to everybody who became aware of it and sent me good wishes and everything else for my birthday. Thank you very much. It was so nice to receive so many messages, both online through the channel and through my phone and email. It was great. So really, thank you very much, folks, for allowing me to share my birthday with you and for you to even consider me. I appreciate it. Had a lovely day. Unfortunately, didn't really do much videoing out there. I spent the better part of the day at a donkey sanctuary. What a wonderful place. 81 donkeys that have either been abandoned or abused or mistreated or whatever. And they've been, given a second home. And I've got to tell you what a home it is. Thank you so much to Sandy and Baz who had us out there yesterday, and might even do a little live later on from the event we're heading to with Sandy and Baz, just to explain a bit more about what the Donkey Sanctuary is all about. Very, very cool indeed. So this live is only really to let you know that tonight the Singleton My Place is having their first social gathering, their first social get-together. Now, if you'd like to come, go to Singleton or My Place Singleton on Facebook and jump online, let them know you're coming. That's all that's required. I've done that because I'm coming. Looking forward to seeing everybody who's going to be there tonight. Looking forward to it a great deal. We've made some great friends in Singleton, seen a few over the last couple of days, but looking forward to catching up with a whole heap more tonight. So if you're amongst them, well, look forward to seeing you then. And if you're thinking about it, then it's a very easy drive. Ruffett Lane, Ruffett is the place to go to. I think, look, I can't remember the number, but you will see it. There'll be lots of light. There'll be many cars, lots of people. I have been there already. There aren't that many houses on Ruffett Lane. You will find it, trust me. Ruffett Lane, Ruffett is where My Place in Singleton is. Look forward to seeing you there tonight. Things get underway from about 6 o'clock. There's a big barbecue happening. Bring something to throw on it. If you can't do that, then don't worry. We've got a heap of stuff we're throwing on it anyway. So no one will go home hungry, and look forward to seeing you all there. I will touch briefly on the speech that happened earlier today by, what am I going to call him? Well, I'm on YouTube, so I'm going to call him 45. Hell of a speech. Now, I haven't listened to it more than the first time yet. I've got to go back through it again. But there was a lot of things that were said in that speech that might sound one way if your eyes are closed or only half open, and sound a very different way if your eyes are more than half open. I would suggest to you, if you're going to have a listen to it again like I am, I couldn't be 100% sure. As I say, I've only listened to it once, but I will go back and listen to it again tonight. And never once in that speech did he say, when he was referring to himself as being inaugurated president again, was there mention of an election or 2024. I'll just make that clear. Also, some of the things that he was talking about in that speech, in fact, just about everything in that freedom of speech, we should be sending shockwaves through all forms of media, all forms of big tech, and I'm sure it is, just in its own quiet way. We're certainly seeing a lot more ramped up exposure of Hollywood and those amongst it, a little bit more naming of how they were involved, including the alleged involvement of Ellen DeGeneres, not only in the adrenochrome drinking, but actually as a dealer for it. Don't know that there is any truth to that. She does seem to be wearing the logo for adrenochrome, which is, if you haven't caught up on that deal yet, Wilson, the volleyball handprint on the shirt. That's a very good indication of how the elites identify each other. And they usually only wear those in closed circumstances, but we've been seeing them more and more wearing them in public. Ask yourself why, and then look for an ankle bracelet. It's probably the best way of thinking about that. So yeah, look, I think there's some very interesting things coming with Trump. The 15th of December is an important date in America's history to do with their constitution. Make yourself aware of that. There was a very important bill signed into power with the Constitution, or an amendment signed on the 15th of December. I want to say 1776, but could be wrong. I'm also hearing other dates. Now, I say nothing about dates other than I'll give them to you. You do with them what you will. The 18th is another very important date, and I am hearing all sorts of things about the GFS, or the QFS rather, and Nasara Jassara. We are going to see some big movements. If there is any truth in those rumours, we are going to see big things happening this week in the market. And we're going to see big things happening with the banks. So if you've got money in the banks, maybe you want to get it out. I don't know. If the Nasara Jassara QFS thing actually happens, then the deal apparently is that you will not lose any money if fiat money becomes useless and it's in the bank. You will be credited in the new system with the same amount of money that you had in the bank. I don't know. I kind of feel better having it in my pocket than I do having it in the bank's pocket. If there's going to be any credit for it system, you'll be able to redeem that fiat cash somewhere and get it credited to whatever the next QFF's quantum system will be. I just feel a bit happier having some in my pocket at the moment rather than not. And remember to stock up, folks, because you never know. But that's some of the background I've been reading in the last 24, 48 hours or so. And certainly there does seem to be a lot of movement in the financial system. I was actually lucky enough to be introduced to a banker of some note recently, and I rang him yesterday to ask a question of him, and he just refused to answer that question and hung up. Sorry, Carl, can't answer anything about that. Talk to you later. That was that. So I don't know, take from that what you will. Could be nothing, could be everything. Hello, Sunflower. Lovely to see you in there. I haven't actually... oh, God, love you, Sunflower. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for all the birthday wishes, folks. I really appreciate it. It was a lovely day. Cuddling donkeys. Got to say, I learnt 57 I was yesterday, for those of you who are interested. I learnt something about donkeys yesterday. In fact, I learned a whole heap about donkeys yesterday that I'd never heard or learned before. But I've got to say, the big thing that I learned about donkeys yesterday is that every donkey has a crucifix on it, a cross, in its fur. And if it's a white donkey, you won't see it in its fur. But if you were to shave its shoulder, you would find there is a crucifix, or the top that's back there somewhere. Don't ask me about donkey anatomy. I didn't learn that much. But every one of them has a crucifix, a cross on there. Ask yourself why. When you think back to the Bible story, maybe you might come up with a bit of an answer. But I was blown away to learn that. And if you shave that white donkey, that cross will be on the skin. So it clearly comes through all the donkeys in that sort of fashion. And I said, is it every donkey? Yes, it is every donkey. So who knew these things? I lived 57 years. I had to live 57 years to learn that. I told my mother yesterday when we spoke, and she said, well, I've lived 87 years and never known that. So I'm not sure it's a really known fact, or if it is or was, it's been hidden from us. For what reason, one asks. The Donkey Sanctuary is a beautiful place, folks. Just a wonderful, wonderful place. And Sandy and Baz will be at My Place Singleton tonight, and I'll try and get them around for a bit of a quick live with me. That'll only happen on None 2K. So if you're watching this on any other YouTube or Facebook or Project Matilda or anything like that, I can't do a multi-stream off my phone. So it will only happen off the phone tonight, unfortunately, and that'll mean it'll only go to air on None 2K. But we'll have a bit of a chat about the Donkey Sanctuary and just the important work that they do. They travel all over Australia to rescue donkeys. Recently, they were up in Queensland. They've taken donkeys off islands that were off the coast of Australia after the people who were living on those islands passed away. Donkeys needed to be rescued. Just amazing sort of people involved in this. So I'm up for anything with animals. So we'll have a chat with Baz and Sandy tonight. I'm really looking forward to catching up with them. Do I have any thoughts on 45 selling digital trading cards? No, I have no thoughts on anybody selling digital anything at the moment. I wouldn't be thinking that 45 is selling digital anything, but I don't know, haven't looked into it. So I wouldn't suspect that anybody is paying too much attention. Digital trading cards are not the kind of thing I would expect Trump to be involved in at this end of the operation. So if somebody's got his name on it and all that, I think it's just crap. Steer clear of all that crap, folks. The coins and the bits and pieces. I don't pretend to understand it. I've got a Trump coin, which is, I'm very grateful for. Thank you again, Patrick. But if you're investing in them and thinking you're going to make, get paid $5,000 for a coin or something, I don't know. It's unclear. Let's leave it that way. I'm not looking for that sort of a markup. I don't think it's going to be I don't think the QFS is going to be looking at that sort of thing really appropriately either. So bear all that in mind. Blockchain is the way of the future, so I'm being told. I can't pretend to understand it yet, but I did have lunch with a very interesting man the other day who did explain it to me, and how Bitcoin mining works. I found that extremely interesting. So that's opened up a whole new level of understanding in what Bitcoin mining for me is all about, and we'll have a chat about that in the coming days. Laura and I have had a wonderful time in the Hunter Valley, and thank you to everybody who's made us feel so great. Come along tonight to Singleton, to My Place Singleton. It's in Ruffett Lane in Ruffett. You will find us. It's very easy to find. There'll be a lot of cars parked out the front, and a bit of light floating around, a lot of people mingling, and the smell of a barbecue. So look forward to seeing you there from 6 o'clock. It's going to be a great night. And we will have... over the next day or so, a couple of other interesting little things to post up. I've just done a video with Gary about putting together a water filter. I should, when I get home, have, hopefully, a number of interesting new things to open up. But amongst that will be some water testers and all sorts of stuff. So over Christmas, planning on doing a couple of little short videos about ways you might be able to improve your drinking water and being able to check what sort of quality the water you are drinking actually is. So if that interests you, that's all coming up soon right here on the Voice of Freedom. God, it sounds like I should be a radio announcer, doesn't it? Have a bloody great day. I'll do another one later from Singleton. Look forward to talking to you then. Have a great day.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's